also, I believe that our colleague Eric has some comments that he wants to make. So, Karen, how do you want to proceed from here? Do you want to go straight to questions, or do you want Eric to speak for a moment or two?
We've got a couple of housekeeping things to take care of here, Lou. But first, let me thank you. That was a great presentation. Lots of information. I especially really like the two quotes: model the behavior, and data is not a substitute for direct observation. I love that. Absolutely love that.
Terrific.
So thank you. So a couple of things. So at the beginning of Lou's presentation, we talked about a white paper that she has coming up on service catalog. So I just wanted to see who wanted to have a copy of that. So I've just got one poll here, and it's just a yes or no. If you want it, great. And if you don't want it, it's just a yes or no. So however you want to do that is quite fine. So let me just bring that one up for you.
And Lou, it's Lisa. Well, Karen's got that poll up. I just wanted to make a comment. And also, we're kind of waiting for some questions to come in. So I think you covered everything perfectly. And no wonder there aren't that many questions. But, you know, we've got 15 more minutes with Lou, and obviously she knows what she's talking about. So please feel free to throw in your questions. But the part that was really impactful for me was sometimes having people that aren't that familiar involved in the conversation. Mm-hmm. What we find here at the Academy, you know, 14 years old, and kind of think like, well, we do training, so we've done the same thing for the last 14 years, but of course not, because technology has changed so much, and the use of the virtual classroom, et cetera, et cetera. And so we have one newer employee. I mean, she's only been here 5 years, but she has a really great ability to make us question, why do we do it that way? And is it because we always did it that way? And so that part for me was just, it really resounded. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, and there's an example I'd like to share actually that can give people an idea of using these principles and actually creating some additional ones when it's appropriate. I had experience a number of years ago when I was working for a software company, and in order to develop their product suite, they'd been very acquisitive. There was one core product that they developed themselves, and then every other product that came in and became part of the suite, they kind of purchased other companies. And every time they purchased a company, with that company came their professional services division. So what happened was, depending on which product you were installing, which module you were installing, you would have a different experience as a customer in how we worked with you for the professional services. So we decided that we wanted our customers to have a really consistent experience no matter what module they were installing. So we developed a kind of an enterprise-wide service delivery methodology that would be scalable for any type of engagement, that would work for any geo, any set of products. Well, we had developed this methodology and we were rolling it out globally to 500 professional services folks. And then we bought another company. So this new company, they also had their own services delivery methodology, and it was very mature. So we had to merge the two. We said, well, all right, as we undertake this project, before we get into the meat of this, let's define some guiding principles for how we're going to go about doing this. So with the objective in mind to create a single methodology that the whole company could use, we sat down together and we agreed our guiding principles. And it turned out that in addition to some like the ones we've seen today, we decided that the most appropriate approach was to agree that the methodology we had already developed would be our baseline, that we would take a process of comparing and contrasting the methodology of the new organization with the existing one, and we would identify areas where that one was better than the one we had in place and use those items for continual improvement. So by everyone agreeing up front that the existing methodology would be the baseline and that we would feed it from the new one, as opposed to throw them all out and start over, or use the new methodology as the base and integrate that way. We all agreed that objectively that was the best approach for our business. By agreeing that up front as a principle, always start where we are with the existing methodology, that took away all the kind of getting everybody all concerned about, well, this is my thing and my thing is better, and mine and yours and mine. It really depersonalized the decision making as we went forward, and it made it so much easier to work the initiative. So that's the kind of thing that these principles can do, is to assist in reducing issues along the way, because we've already decided how we're going to handle a lot of things.
That's a wonderful example. Thank you. It really is.
A couple of things. If you want to have more information regarding the 9 guiding principles, I'm going to chat into everybody. We've got the ITSM Professor blog has one on that same topic. So I'm going to put that right in here for you in your chat box, and you can download that if you're interested in seeing that. And then and don't forget to send in your questions. I have one question so far, and Lou's ready to answer all your questions today. And for those of you who need to drop off, I'd like to remind you that our next webinar is scheduled for Thursday, November 16th, when Jeff Rumberg, co-founder and CEO of MetricNet, joins us. And Jeff's presentation is titled The ROI of ITSM, Know Your Financial Impact. And Jeff's saying that most companies track ROI on an ongoing basis to make intelligent business decisions, yet fewer than 10% of all technical support organizations utilize this critical metric. Chief among the benefits for tracking ROI is an enhanced level of visibility and credibility within the organization, and the ability to obtain appropriate resourcing based upon the ROI of IT service management. So how do we calculate ROI and quantify the value of IT service management to the enterprise? Well, his webinar is going to show you a simple yet compelling methodology for calculating the ROI. Benchmarking data will be presented that objectively demonstrates the relationship between ROI and IT service management maturity. And he's also going to have a case study for us as well. So we hope that you can join us for that. Okay, now we're going to go on to the Q&A. Are you ready, Lou?
Ready.
All right. So how do we go about defining other guiding principles if we thought that that would be helpful?
Right. And that links to the example I gave about the methodology project. So essentially the key element is to put your risk prevention hat on and think about what your objectives are and what could potentially get in the way. And have a little brainstorming session with some key people and say, well, okay, is there anything we should just agree to? Well, one of the things that happens a lot is governance issues really need to be settled up front. So start with the existing guiding principles to see if any of them can be used to communicate what you want, and then see if there are any risks associated with the endeavor that really you would like to get something specific on. And the example that I used was a really a good illustration of that, where we knew that there would be a concern of people getting kind of possessive, if you will, about something they'd already developed. And so we wanted to kind of agree that up front and say that's going to guide our way of working. Okay.
Thank you. That's all the questions that I have right now, Lou. I do have a lot of people saying, thank you so much for the presentation. Great information. Really got a lot out of it. But as Lisa said, you were very thorough in the presentation, so perhaps people are just kind of absorbing it all at this point.
Well, they have a lot of work to do now, so they all have to get back to work.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
Terrific.
Well, I want to thank you again for joining us today. And I wanted to let everybody know also that we're going to continue to bring you practitioner presentations discussing Agile and IT service management implementations, experiences, and challenges. So we know that you want to hear about it, we want to hear about it, and people want to learn from the practitioners. So if you'd like to share your implementation experience or your implementation challenges, or if you have a presentation that you think our listeners would like to hear, just let me know and I'd be happy to work with you and make that happen. And awesome job, Lou. I'm getting more in here. Thank you very much. Great information, well presented. Thank you for the info. Got a lot out of the meeting. Well, that's all the time we have for this morning. And again, we will email you all the link to the Q&A report from this session in just a few days. We're going to be posting the webinar on our website in just a couple of days as well. And once again, the next webinar is Thursday, November 16th, and that's Jeff Rumberg, co-founder and CEO of Metric Inc., and he's joining us with his presentation, The ROI of IT Service Management, Know Your Financial Impact. And we'll send you an invitation for the next webinar and look forward to having you join us. And if you could do us a favor.
Karen?
Yes, Lisa?
Sorry. I just wanted to say that I think this is one of the best thank you comments I've ever seen, is mind blown, exclamation mark. Thanks, Lou. I just had to say it. And James thinks you're fantastic. You have quite the crowd going here, girl.
Yeah, as my friend used to say, no applause, just throw money.
Yeah.